Walk 1,000,000 miles just to see you smile till the day you die. Oh, I need you by my side just to see your smile till the day I die. What song is that? What's up, Wi-Fi? What's up, Bat? What's up, Cool Rizzler? URD, the first comment of the stream, baby. Shout out. Alright, let's start off with the Puzzle Rush and some Justin Bieber. I'd settle for the ghost of you. I miss you more than life. Snipe. Back rank. Just a bridge that Zod can't follow. Is all that I get. I want you to know. I'd settle for the ghost of you. I'll miss you more than life. Miss you more than life. I miss you more than. Appreciate you sharing the live Wi-Fi. Shout out, babe. It's all that I get. I want you to know. I'd settle for the ghost of you. I miss you more than life. Your memory's ecstasy. I miss you more than life. I miss you more than life. To you, I'll settle for the ghost of you. Ah, it was the other one. Ah! Not terrible for a warm-up, but I definitely got sloppy at the end. What's up, Contritum? Let's start the day off with some rapid. Appreciate the follow, Supreme. What's up, JP? Appreciate the heart me. F6. Oh my gosh. What is it with my opponents? What is it with the ops and playing some, like, obscure openings, but it's always the first game of the day only? Like, this is the only time when I'm not warmed up, when I'm, like, not even completely awake. What is going on in the world? Let's see. Such a weird opening. Appreciate the Rose Wi-Fi. I could go bishop to e6 here. Just trade off the light square bishops. Try and gain more control over this e6 square. Or I could go d5 first. I think that allows knight to e5, so... This to me feels right, because he's gearing up to go d5. He offers to exchange a pair of rooks. I wonder if now d5 is a legitimate shot. What happens if you take on e6? I take on e6. You take on e6. Where does his knight go? Probably e5. We exchange knights. He has to take with the f pawn. I can go knight to e4 and hit the d pawn, but then he can just play c5. It does give me time to play bishop to g5, but do I have anything after that? Looking pretty deep in the position. It's like 8 or 9 moves ahead. There's a lot you can miss. I could also go queen to e2 first. Seems more reasonable, I think. He develops the knight. Let's develop the bishop and get ready to bring the rook onto the open file. Kicks the queen out. Knight's pretty underdeveloped at the moment. I just put my queen on a light square. Maybe I should have gone pawn to d5, but I'm kind of just trying to focus on development, gaining control of the e file while I can, and he's kind of backing his pieces down passively. Goes there. Knight to a4. Looks weird. But it does defend. I'm gonna play it. I don't know how good it is, though. Appreciate the fellow Ethan. Appreciate the fellow Too Long. Appreciate the 3 Roses Wi-Fi. I'm gonna just go b3. Defend the knight. b5, and I have a forced draw if I want. Appreciate the follow Kim. Appreciate the follow Don. Shout out. Is he using a bot? How is he playing so quickly? My opponent, he's... So, he's playing like simple moves without like trying to think too far ahead. Instead of trying to come up with like the ultimate or perfect plan, he's just playing what comes naturally. There's some upside and downside to it. I go knight c3 in order to continue the game, like, so that there isn't a draw. If I were to put myself in my opponent's shoes after knight to c3, bishop to c1, a3, queen a4. Basically anything where he gets d5. Nah. I'm just gonna force the repetition. No! -1 whole rating point. Ay, ay, ay. Hops off for a rematch. I wouldn't mind rematching him, but I want to see how I'm supposed to play against this opening. I've never bothered to, like, look at it. We both played at 91% accuracy. Okay. c3. If they go knight h6, the bishop to e3, the bishop to g7, queen to d2. Queen to d2 isn't good yet. I'm going to play h4. And then what if knight to f7, h5, G5. Interesting. Okay. Anyway, sorry, I've never seen this opening before. Well, I've seen it a couple times. People play it against me, usually in Bullet, because you can get away with a lot of really obscure openings. Appreciate the follow, James Walton. Thanks. So it continues. I mean, I'm still better here, but I don't have like a overarching advantage or anything. It's not like a winning position. White just has control of the center, but I try and advance and break through the center of the board too quickly. Apparently here it's better to just stabilize and play the game. I capture on peasant, only move to keep the advantage on the board for white. White is still better here, but not like winning. And then this just gives away the rest of my advantage. I had to play bishop takes f7 to keep the advantage. Yeah, but just rook takes f7 and... Oh, now you play d5. And if like c5, now you have this weak hole. Ah, okay. The rest of the game just kind of ends in a draw. Pretty bland after that. Bishop to e6 gives away the advantage. Now it's basically just a symmetrical position. We're just playing a normal chess game. Played pawn to b3, pawn to b4, and here, or sorry, after pawn to b5, I figured I was at least a little bit better, but I just went for the forced draw. It was the first game of the day. Alright. How was your hockey game? It's in 4 hours. Appreciate the follow, CJ Gutierrez. Shout out. Zod, I've been doing my homework. Good. Alright, do your homework. That's how the elo goes up. Let's play an old Benoni. So many people at my rating level don't like playing the Benoni. It's part of the reason white usually typically goes d5 and advance the pawn, claim space, and black has a not so easy time with that opening a lot of the time, at least in my opinion. He goes for the early h4 push. If I go d5, takes. I could play h5 here. I could also just play d5. I'm trying to figure out, does sacrificing the rook... I don't believe in it. Appreciate the follow, Badita. Appreciate the follow, Mike. Appreciate the follow, D2NE. Shout out. What do you study? Like as far as chess? He goes bishop to g5. I could go pawn to h6. Seems reasonable. Probably just take with the bishop. Typically you don't want to capture away from the center, you want to capture towards it, if it's with pawns. The more centralized a pawn is, typically the more powerful it is. The exception to that is the in-game a lot of the times where flank pawns become more powerful, because when you need a pass pawn to help you win the in-game. He goes there, and I was going to play e6 and just go on about my day. But I just now realized I got to be a little bit careful. I don't think my bishop, if I want to keep the bishop pair that is, belongs on g4. I'm going to go bishop back. If he takes on b7, I don't think I care about that too much. He decides to push. Obviously, I don't want to open up the h file for him, for his rook to be staring down my king. What's that noise? It's the fan of the computer just whirring loudly. Appreciate you the follow, James Kirby. I just woke up and I have a bunch of phlegm in my throat. Phlegm. Or it could be, I've been yelling a lot. I could be losing my voice a bit. I hope not. But I've been struggling to clear my throat today. I could go knight to a5. That was my first plan, is Um, Queen to d6 stronger though. Queen to d6, what's your response? You just back the queen out to b3. I go rook here. I think I just go here. Baby Yoda is helping you win, isn't he? He is the general's right-hand man, alright? If I go knight to c4, he goes pawn to b3. I go bishop to c8. He goes queen to b5, hitting my pawn on d5. Knight to a3 does threaten a fork. He can go queen to 8 or d3 though. I can go rook to b8 immediately. If I go rook to b8, let's see, pawn to b3. And then, or you could go queen to c2 though, or e2. Whatever, I gotta move. I'm thinking too much. I considered bishop to c8, but the problem is he can just move his queen to b5 afterward, and then the reason that's dangerous in that position is because the bishop is on c8, so he's attacking this pawn with his queen and knight. That's why I opted against it. Could go here. Bishop to c8 now, he just flies his queen back. That. Queen c7. I've just given away a pawn and made my knight awful. Really not good execution the last couple moves. Okay. I gotta move though. What? Wait, what is he saying? That my queen is going to be trapped? Did he just blunder a knight? Am I crazy? Or is he going to get the knight back after rook c1 and, like, some attack on the queen? I feel like he just, what? Blundered a knight? Appreciate the follow, cutesy KSI lover. Zod, you look like King Von. I mean, I would say I've had worse comparisons, but I don't know. That guy was just straight up not a good dude. Not a terrible rapper. Some of his songs kind of went hard. Takes queen b5. What if he goes... Okay. I have 5 minutes left. I'm up a minor piece now somehow. I don't want to overcomplicate this. I'm going to go here. Probably exchange the bishop for the knight, and then just reroute my knight over to c6. But then he goes... He does have, f4. Maybe it's more important to trade the rooks off first. I gotta go, though. I gotta go. Gotta pick up the pace. Alright. Can't be moseying along like it's a throwaway game up in Rochester. I wonder if he goes f5 if I can capture on d4. It looks like he's worried about it too. If I take, he can take with this pawn. Problem is my light square bishop. It's kind of awkwardly placed. I know I gotta go. How do I do this? It's not easy. I guess I'll take. This probably isn't it, but I gotta go. Appreciate the 3 gold boxing gloves, Dylan H. Appreciate the 2 roses, M. Shout out. Appreciate the 5 roses, Kawa. Let's go back. Zod doesn't need time, Zod. Wait, time, Zod? It doesn't need to be perfect. I know. I need to move faster. Alright. Been on the defensive long enough. I gotta try and generate some threats here. Gotta start whipping it up. Material. Trade should still be pretty good as a whole. Gotta apply more pressure. How do I get in? I just go here, maybe? I figured that was coming, to be honest. But I think it works out pretty decently for me. $2.17 on the ticker, man. How do I do this? Centralize the queen. Seems like a pretty reasonable step 1. Shoot the marvelous confetti, just Paul. Shout out, baby. Alright. A little early to be dropped the confetti. I'm gonna do my best here. I also do think this position is starting to make some sense to me. I just have to be careful not to blunder anything, like if he takes, not to take back too quickly, because there's like queen check here, hitting the pawn. I can always take with the or check here with the queen first to pick up the pawn though, so a lot of it's going to be playing quickly, trusting my intuition, not taking up too much time trying to play perfectly, but also being aware that my opponent is still looking for ways of complicating the game. Let's go here first. Here can happen in a move or two or something. Goes there. Now if I go g4, he can go here to stop it. So I have to be a little careful. Take. Let's go here first. King to g4, there's queen e2. If he takes the pawn, I don't take back, obviously, because he would take with check. Capture here first. We have a minute left on the ticker. Gotta play quickly. Nessie the locked-in monster. As long as I move quickly, or I don't blunder, should be able to start mopping some of these pawns up. Hopefully. A lot of it's going to be trusting the intuition, though. Like, not trying to force myself to play perfect. I don't have to care about this pawn too much at the moment. Take here first. I mean, in-game's winning if... I go here. He can take this pawn, but now I take with the bishop, and I'm threatening g3, and he can't defend it. Although he can go, yeah, queen there. And now queen f3. .29 seconds left. Appreciate the follow, Cowan. Shout out. Cowan, League Diggle. Oh my gosh. There's no way that name is made with good intentions. I mean, maybe. What app or website is this? This is chess.com. You can download it for free on the App Store or Google Play Store, or you can play it for free on your browser, on your computer like I am now. Let me get the George W. Very good, very good. All right. quick bop up chat. Let the fingers fly, and once we got the queens off the board, it was just GG all she wrote. Ops thought they were going to have a chance, because they had the double pawns over here, alright? The winning tactic we needed to spot, Just Paul dropping the Galaxy! First dub of the day! We got Just Paul dropping a Galaxy. Hold up. There were like a ton of gifts. I can't even, let's see. Just Paul sent Marvelous Confetti, Brilly with the Confetti, Dylan H with the GG, Just Paul with the Galaxy, Abel She Hater with the Rose, Nick Fritz with the TGGs, Wally with the Heartbeat, Paul with the 2 GGs, alright, shout out. Appreciate the follow, Liquid Water 212, appreciate the follow, Super Crispy. We got Briley dropping 2 Super GGs, chat. Alright, let me show you the, turning point. Well, the first turning point of the game was he blundered. This wasn't a good game on either of our parts, I thought, to be honest. Appreciate the follow, Drew Henderson. We open up with the Benoni, where I offer up a flank pawn for a central pawn, and most people turn it down, which I enjoy, which is a big reason I play the opening. Appreciate the follow, IO Yes 6304. Alright, I'm not here to tell my ops how to play their openings, but I know what I like facing off against and what I do not enjoy facing off against. Bishop to e6, kind of not a good move. I wanted to defend the pawn. Apparently, black was better after queen to d6. Knight to a5. A knight on the rim is dim. Its chances are going to be slim. Alright, you don't want to put your knights on the edge of the board, because if knights are on the edge of the board, they only attack 4 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4. A knight that's in the center of the board, for example, can hit up to 8 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's why. And now the ops just blunder. I think they thought after rook to c1 they could get the knight back here, but it doesn't work. Queen to b5 keeps the queens on the board, or sorry, keeps my extra piece in the game. And I mean, very uncharacteristic blunder. Just probably a slight moment of chess blindness. I'm in the in-game here. I mean, it is kind of the in-game since the queens are still on the board, but so much firepower has left the game. This would probably be classified as an in-game or headed to one, especially after the rooks come off the board. It's just queen and bishop versus queen and pawns. I centralize my queen going after the pawn, and now I plan on just pushing this pawn so that white can never generate any threat against my king. And now after that, all I have to do is reroute the bishop around the board, and eventually I get my queen over to h2. I also could have just put it on h1, I'm realizing, but I wanted the king on f3. That way I could take with check. Computer says you don't even need to take with check, just go after the pawns. But I wanted to take with check here, and now I start targeting this pawn. The ops pick up this one, and now they have 2 connected passers. Maybe they can turn that into something in the endgame, but the nice thing here is after bishop takes e5, queen to a8, king to g7, there's a lot of pressure on this pawn, and I can start to soften up his position, right, by attacking the dark squares. And now every time he pushes his pawn, the dark squares around his king get weaker and weaker and weaker. So I maneuver my queen on a dark square, and now I'm threatening queen to d2, going after his king. He sees this, drops his queen back, so I capture the pawn on g4, and now I know my opponent is like terrified here. And probably like, oh my gosh, how do I survive mate? He only has 30 seconds. Maybe I can flag him. So he plays queen to e1, relying on the 2 connected pass pawns to at least, like, you know, make me take 3 to 4 seconds a move to figure out how to deal with it. Hopefully I run out of time. But after the queens come off the board, I saw this tactic. All right. That's the only reason I traded the queens. If I didn't have that, I would have just kept it queens on the board, probably push the h-pawn. And then we waste no time, chat. Alright, I just start pre-moving, letting the fingers fly. And that's all she wrote. We get the George W. Let's move on to the next one. Appreciate the follow, Sammy. Shout out. Appreciate you sharing live. Javier Velezquez. Appreciate the follow, Peen Tip. Dave Flocka dropping the 100 GGs. Chat, we're also live on YouTube right now over at General's Odd Chess if you guys want to check out the stream in a wider viewing platform. Alright. Zod, I have a question of extreme importance. Appreciate the follow, Reen P. Appreciate the follow, R6 Plug. Shout out. Morning again. Turn off the news, it's messed up. Global warming again. It's 5 p.m. Let's get messed up till the morning again. Where are the ops hiding? Is George W short for George W. Bush or George Washington? To be honest, I'm not sure, because I think it was originally supposed to be George W. Bush, and then at some point I was like, George W. He did lead the troops across the Delaware, but I can't remember which one it started with, to be honest. I think I've messed the continuity of it up at least a couple times. Appreciate the follow, Rayleigh Raw. Shout out. You shot my body in COD, bro? Alright. What? How am I being accused of crimes in a game I don't even own? Do I go knight to d5? Go knight here. d6. I'm gonna go knight d5. George W. Lore lost to time. One of my friends would know. I came up with that with them back in college. I'll ask them about the origin. Were you a good student? Depends which professor you ask. No, I think my professors really liked me. I think. I hope. Let's go f4. All of my professors would always speak glowingly about me. I was like, oh, snap, you guys make me feel smart. Realistically, I would always just... I'd be one of the students who would always be listening to them, you know, actively listening instead of just, oh my gosh, I need to get through this class. I wish he just stopped talking. Like, there'd be a lot of days I'd be there hungover or still drunk from the last night's activities. But I also knew they were there trying to, like, you know, none of them were there to make a salary or push their careers forward to try and earn something along those lines, you know. The more and more I listened to them, the more and more I was like, these guys just wish someone was there to like help them along when they were at this point in their life, and they are trying to provide that same support that they wish they had onto other people, so that hopefully their lives are a little easier. And once you start realizing professors are coming from you with a in a way like that, you know, I think it becomes a lot easier to respect what they're doing, respect what they're saying, and just give them your time. I'm not gonna lie, I was not the best student when it came to doing my homework. I was pretty good at tests. I was really, really good at presentations and talking, even if I had to talk out of where the poop comes out. All right. I was pretty good at it. I remember this one time I had a assignment in my English honors class freshman year, and this girl and I, we were supposed to do a PowerPoint together, PowerPoint presentation. And I think I was in quarantine from COVID, and she got in a car crash. So basically, we were never able to work on the project together. And then, you know, we had to present, and I was like, just let me do the talking. I got this. And I kind of just thought I didn't have anything like written down or pre-planned, but I just came up with something off the top of my head, and he gave us a 96 for it. Did you ever get into trouble? Depends what you mean by trouble. Not like real trouble. I'd say most times in college when I got into trouble, it would be me trying to bite off more than I could chew. Like, for example, I was the mascot for our college, and not because someone paid me to do it. I just walked into the student office one day and was like, yo, I think this is a free pawn, no? I heard that we don't have anyone using the mascot uniform. I'll do it. And they were like, for free? I was like, yeah, I'll do it. They're like, I mean, all right. And after that, I was the mascot. But, you know, sometimes it would be insanely hot in that suit. It was hard to stay in it for extended periods of time. I think just getting my rook to the 7th rank is fine. I'm wondering if I should delay that, though. Knight to f3. Queen takes on g7. Queen of c4. I really like knight to f3 if it wasn't for queen to c4. Well, no, it's no good. I'm thinking just rook to a7 here. I don't know what the follow-up should be, but maybe I shouldn't be too concerned with that. Just rook a7, limit his options. If he takes the pawn, his knight hangs at the end. Have you ever been to Lawton, Oklahoma? Lawton? I feel like I've been to almost all parts of Oklahoma, at least briefly, but Lawton, I was probably there at some point, but probably only very briefly. It's like 100 miles away. Appreciate the follow, Duke Bab 31. Shout out. Zod, your voice is making me fall asleep at work. The chess is keeping me awake. Well, hopefully the chess gets more boring. Because if this position gets exciting, I don't think that favors me. I'm already up a pot here. I just want to keep things like, nice and steady. Slow and steady. Alright. Let's not forget who won that race, chat. It was not the hare. The hare did not win that race. It really is a problem, I feel like, almost at every level, all the way up until master. Like, myself included. That a lot of chess players will try and win too quickly. Like, it takes a lot of skill and talent to recognize when you can kind of, when your opponent has a weakness or you can press for the attack. But it seems so often at the master level, especially when I play in over-the-board tournaments against them, when I'm playing against like master level players, it seems so often that I'll see a really strong move that they could play in a position, and they don't go for it. Instead, they just kind of like restrict my movement instead, Like they're basically saying, I know I'm better. I'm not in a rush to win this game, though. I'm going to take my time, make sure you don't have any way of striking back against me and generating counter chances, and then I'll go in for the KO. Speaking of going in for the KO, Queen H5. How often do you play a brilliant move? It depends. So brilliant moves in chess, like by chess.com's definition, aren't necessarily like genius level moves. They're basically just moves, like the textbook definition of it is a brilliant move is a move that offers to sacrifice material and still improves your position, right? So if you're playing brilliant moves, that means you're playing really good aggressive chess. But if you're not playing brilliant moves, that doesn't mean you aren't still playing brilliant chess, right? It doesn't automatically mean you are, just that there are different metrics to defining brilliant moves. I remember I played one move on stream yesterday, and it wasn't even like an exclamation mark, let alone a brilliant. But I was like probably more proud of that than the 3 or 4 brilliants we hit yesterday. Much more difficult move to see, Why do you like chess so much? Imagine a puzzle where the end goal remains the same, but your solution towards solving the puzzle changes up every single time. And now imagine you like competition and you're fighting against another person for control over, or to decide who's smarter or who's right about solving the puzzle. That's basically what chess is. So I feel like I should just take the pawn on g5 here. Take the pawn on g5. It threatens the knight. If I take... Do I have something better, though? Whenever you have a good move in chess, you should try and look for a better one, for an even better move. Because if you have a move that's for sure is good, right? That for sure improves or helps your position or makes your opponent's position worse, whatever it may be, that can only be possible if your opponent made a mistake. So if they made a mistake, if they made a mistake because you see a move that is good for you, that means there could be an even better one, And it might not even be that hard to find, you just have to be willing to look for it. Anyway, rook to f6. Should my queen get while the Gitten is good? I don't know how pressured I feel into doing that. How do I generate some threats? He lifted his rook. I could go rook over. He's not threatening to like take any of my material at the moment. And he has very limited control over the position. I think I'll double up, unless I'm missing something here. 3:30 though, I gotta go. I'll just double the rooks up. Yeah, 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 oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go queen h5. Yeah, 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 oh, Goes king h7, hiding his king away, out of danger. g4 looks very strong. Ooh, tell somebody, we gon' tell somebody. He takes. I didn't calculate this, to be fair. Whoa! Your live is not... It just said my live isn't Whoa, 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 whoa. Your live is not eligible for recommendation and restricted in search results because it may contain unoriginal or reproduced content. This is in line with the For You feed eligibility standards under our community guidelines. Appeal. My live does not contain the content mentioned in the notice. What? Appeal submitted. I'm submitting the appeal 5 times. What? Oh, tell somebody. We gon' tell somebody. Is it because I'm singing the song? Am I getting copyright struck? Yeah, right. So this is America. Oh no. Going acapella is copyrightable. Why did no one in America tell me? Society, man. It's messed up. I also have 2 minutes. Ooh. My ops just said I had a stronger move than g4, knight to f7. I missed that. Oh, tell somebody. Say, good eyes. Tell somebody. Appreciate the heartbeat of the paper crane, DAO25 Marcus. Appreciate the rose, just Paul. Shout out. Appreciate the heart me. Alright, I gotta stop singing. This is America. How often do you find people being toxic in your chat at your level? I mean, it's the internet, so you do anything on the internet, like that'll happen eventually. But honestly, not that often. Like chess players, you know, we're pretty chill as a whole, I'd say. And the idea is if he moves his queen anywhere, I just take the queen on e7. Let me go here, rook f1, king g2. And this guy is still in the game, so there's no rook f2. You take the knight, checkmate. Rook f6 survives, but then there's like knight g6. Complex position, but I should be winning. He goes for this. I don't see anything better than just queen here. Actually, hold up. There is bishop c5. Bishop c5. This king is forced over here. Is it just mate? Maybe not mate, because if I go here, he can block with the bishop. I can go here, but then his king starts escaping. There's no checks. I think I'll just take this. I mean, why not? It's a free bishop. You can go rook to f1, but again, king g2. This dark square bishop cuts everything off. We get the George W. Very good, very good. Chat, am I gonna have to... Wait, I forgot about the restriction. Did that get appealed? Zod, Ravens or Steelers? Ah, give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. Give me Lamar. Give me Lamar. That defense is good. Who are the Steelers starting? Is it Russell? Just Paul dropping the marvelous confetti. Shout out. Alright. Appreciate it, baby. Ah! Appeal team, let's go. I mean, we're gonna try, chat. Alright, we're gonna try. I'll just keep running. I don't think the live can... Let me see. Ay, ay, ay. No, it looks like it's still there. Was there a brilliant in this game? Oh! I didn't even get to see. E3? What is this? What is with people and playing these monstrous openings on Sundays? One more game to 2,500? Oh my gosh, we are 2498. I didn't even realize. What is Lucy doing? Who is she? Who is this mad woman? Oh my gosh. Right. What's an opening you hate playing against? Like making things happen sooner rather than later. So, I've never been too fond of the slower openings, like the English, some variations of London, what else? I used to hate playing against the French defense when I was younger. I actually stopped playing e4 for a little bit because of that, but I figured it out. One could even say I understand it now. What state do you live in? Oklahoma. But I went to college in Massachusetts. When I woke up, I scrolled through TikTok and wondered where your live was. Well, they just restricted the live. I appealed it, but... should I just restart the stream chat? After this game? I don't know. Because I think new people can't join. Or it doesn't get, like, recommended to new people. Zod, you gotta restart. What, you mean restricted? So I was singing a song, not even playing it on Spotify, but I was just like singing the words to it, or humming it, and TikTok detected that as like someone just like playing music on a stream instead of having their own original content, I guess. Appreciate the follow, guy. Appreciate the follow, blank. So because of those restrictions, they said the live won't get recommended to any new people. I appealed it, but I don't know how long appeals take. Your singing was so good, they thought you were playing the song. See, that right there is the, that's the glass half full mentality. Right? I wish it was anywhere near that convincing. I wish. Lucy's wildin'. This is crazy. Wait, is it crazy? If I take... This still looks like madness to me, but... Guess I go here. If you take the knight with the bishop, I'll take here. I think. I don't think that changes anything, does it? Oh, the rook is protected now, so she can take. I have a hanging pawn. Wait, what if I played here? Takes, and then knight here. Queen here. I don't know if that quite works out. I'm a castle. Yeah. She gets the extra pawn. Do I even need to bother taking? Go here. Queen to g2. And what do I do? Is there like pawn to e4? No. She goes there. Rook h1. King to d2. Starting with rook g1. Whoa, that seemed like a blunder. I think she was moving. Oh my gosh! Wow, what a tactic! I completely missed that. Oh my gosh, Lucy. I don't know why she didn't instantly take the rook there, but whoa. Oh yeah, I'm cooked. Was this whole thing winning? I'm just cooked here. She played at 90% accuracy at a 2550 level. That's crazy because this right here gives her like a 1300 rating level. So the accuracy beyond that was crazy. Wow. Knight takes d6. What a sneaky find. Wow. Well played. She might be a cheater? Let's see, the account's a couple months old. Her rating's about the same in Blitz as it is in, what do you call it? Rapid. Yikes! Her Blitz rate, she's like won 17 Blitz games and lost 43 of them. That's not good numbers. I don't know. It doesn't matter too much to me. Does she always play something crazy though? Like, let's look at this one. I guess I have to restart the stream chat, alright, because I'm getting copyright striked. They do always open with something wild. They always play H5, G5. I mean, that's what you do if you're trying to, like, lower the accuracy. Or if you're just a menace. I don't know, looks like a normal menace to me. Oh, that's a nice move. Alright, chat, we will be right back. I gotta restart the stream. I'm also gonna change shirts. The new Bong Cloud? It might be. She's never played Bullet, though, so that's kind of odd. It's a little suspicious, but I don't know. I feel like a cheater really isn't going to invest in premium also, or platinum. Like, that's a lot of money to be shelling out if you're gonna be cheated. I think it's a real person. Just a psycho who loves playing some crazy positions. Shout out Lucy. Okay, I will be right back, chat. Let me restart the stream. Throw on a shirt. We're still live on YouTube, but gotta restart the TikTok stream. Are you ending the stream? Please don't. I want to help you. Help me with what? Alright, but I gotta end it and restart because of the restrictions, so I'll be right back. Alright, but we're still live over on YouTube. So, YouTube chat, give me a second. I gotta change. And then I gotta fire up the TikTok stream again. Alright. We are still live on YouTube, aren't we? Okay, perfect. You don't seem to read the chat here. I'm sorry. I'm still getting used to YouTube. I'm trying to get better at it. Alright, give me a second. Ah. Alright. Let's refire up the TikTok stream. YouTube, how we doing? Okay, we're live, back in action. What's up? I'm Ed on YouTube. Had to come over here for the wait. Shout out Landon. Alright, we're back live on TikTok chat. Gotta cut down the copyrighted singing, I guess. Oi, 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 oi. What's up, 364 Days Spanish? Where are the ops hiding at? Oh. Ask and you shall receive. E4. We are indeed back. We get a French defense. I was just talking about this opening. I used to hate playing against it when I was younger. I was such an aggressive player, and you have to play like so patiently in the opening that I really did not enjoy it. I'm going to try and keep all the pieces on the board here. Play this weird looking move. Knight back to d2. c3. Probably capture with this knight. Play here, bishop to e2 and castle. Wi-Fi and Katrina with the Teddy's automote, shout out. Queen to c2, looks fine. If he takes, do I take with the... Let's develop the bishop to g5. Could play queen takes on e4. It's a funny move, but it doesn't, like, do much. I was about to say he could go g5 here. I don't mind it. He gets my dark square bishop off the board, but, it's creating some holes in his king side. Give and take. Goes there. It's kind of leaving the dark square, or giving me the option to leave a dark square bishop on the board for at least a move. But after queen to d5, do I have any response? I think just moving the rook over to the open file should be fine. This original chess content not found anywhere else is unique and not at all copyrighted. Knight to f5 is possible. But again, bishop to e5 now that he doesn't have the queen move. Also looks really nice. I feel like that's a positional win for me though, if the bishops come off for the bishops. Because he initially pushed the pawn for the purpose of going after. Now if I go here, he has knight c5. Here looks fine. If I go here, goes h6. I'm gonna go here. And then probably h4. Queen f4 doesn't work. Lock in, we need 25 hundo. Try my best, baby. Try my best. Let's go h4. Trying to put pressure on this pawn. And if he captures, I'm trying to put pressure here. Let's go here and hit the knight. Ah, he gets the in-game. Well, if I want to go into it. I could take here first. He takes. Or I could just take here and give him the double pawns. Let's play the in-game. Let's see. I could attack his knight, and then where does he go? If I go here to attack his knight, what are his options? Not many squares for it besides here, but then I can take. Does he have any other way of attacking the knight? Or moving it elsewhere? I don't see it. Every other square is covered. If he goes here, knight to c5, I can just take. He takes my rook, and I get 2 pieces for the rook. You just do the math on that. A rook is worth 5 points. A knight and a bishop are each worth 3. 3 plus 3 equals 6, worth more than 5. Therefore, a knight and bishop better than a rook. Quick maths. You need to start streaming on Twitch or YouTube too. We're also live on YouTube right now. Our 8 Generals Chess. Will you still be live at 4? Not today. I have a hockey game, so I'm doing an early stream tonight, or today, and then we might end up doing a late stream tonight. Appreciate the follow, Raisba. Shout out. Just Paul dropping the ice cream cone. Appreciate it, baby. He also, let the record show, he's dropped 2 marvelous confetti and a galaxy. Alright, I've had to restart the stream. So he goes there, knight takes e3, or sorry, e6, attacking the rook. Looks really good. I wonder if that was a brilliant. Like, right? Didn't I just sacrifice a piece? I mean, it's the easiest brilliant I've ever played, probably. If it is one. If they count it as one. What should I do here? Takes. Here. 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 Next takes. Just take. Now what? Do I go b4? Or do I just take? Takes. King f7. Rook back to e2. Rook takes. Bishop to a4. Or I could just go pawn b4. King f7. I don't think there's any reason to overcomplicate. I think I'll just trade the rooks off, drop my rook back to defend the pawn, and then play like here so his rook isn't blockading my pawns. Unless I have something else I like more. Actually, it's not like he's threatening to do much at the moment. I think I'll just mosey along with my king. No reason to rush. Obviously not bishop to d5. It does hit the rook and the king at the same time, which is really nice, but the square is covered by the knight. That's why I wasn't even considering it. He would just take my bishop. Obviously my opponent, 2376. He's not going to turn down a free piece. Double attacks, things like pins and skewers are really nice, but you always have to consider your opponent's best responses to them when they're, you know, especially if it looks like, oh man, he just gave me a free piece. What's up, Arcane Sauce? I expected that. If I just keep moseying my king over, I think I will. Goes rook to a2. Just go here. Let's start going after my pawns. I think two can play at that game, though. Let's go here. Appreciate the follow. Hi. Yesterday, someone turned down a free rook, so you never know. That is true. It's important to not see the boogeyman in chess, meaning if your opponent can play like a scary-looking move or something, or a move that you think, oh man, I probably have to react to that. Or there's probably like some huge threat there. But if you can't see the threat, you know, like do your best, give it an honest look to try and spot whatever threats your opponent might have. But if you can't find any, you can't just react to something that isn't there, right? You need to be reacting to threats that actually exist. Because if you start reacting to things that don't exist, that's when your position will go wrong. Let's go here to defend. I guess he can play rook to c2. I have 4 minutes left. I don't think there's a gigantic reason to, like, you know, start pre-moving everything or anything. I still need to be wary of, like, knight forks. Trickiest piece in the game, you know. You missed a fork? If I went here, it does hit the king and the rook, but once again, his knight guards the square, right? You always have to be aware. His knight would just take my bishop there. It's not a free gain of material, unfortunately. I would love it if it was, though. And even here I have to be careful, because if I go king takes f4, he has knight to d5 with check, and I can't capture because it's pinned, and he just forks my rook and king. That's what I'm saying. You always got to be careful. You don't want to let your guard down too early. So we go here first, forcing him to play rook over to e1. Now the king is no longer pinned, and the check wouldn't fork anyway, but still. He starts pushing p. I'm going to do the same. His pawn is not a pass pawn because this guy guards it. Meanwhile, I have two connected pass pawns. Very, very strong. Difficult to stop. That, I think, just ends the game. Go here. Pretty sure that just is GG on the spot. I go here first. You go rook to b1 to stop me from queening. I go rook to c8 to threaten the queen. You go knight to d7 to stop. But then I play bishop to g4 check. I win the knight from this. Knight to d5 doesn't work. I have 2 minutes and 39 seconds. There's no reason to rush. Now I go rook to c8. Threatening a queen. You can't capture the pawn because it's protected by the bishop. The only way to protect the queening square so you don't have to sacrifice the rook is there. But now I get bishop to g4 check. Everything is defended. 2 pawns on the board, 2 minutes, 29 seconds. Opponents are still going to make us earn our dinner. Earn our supper. Please you follow Meech. Please you follow Takahami. This is a rook and pawn in game. It could be a draw, but rook and pawn plus bishop, too much. Maybe it'd be a draw if this pawn was over 1 file. Then it might be a draw. I can pre-move this because he can't do anything to stop or really disrupt it. Continue pushing P. And then I think king to e5. King to e5, rook to b5, bishop there. He's stalemated. But if he goes... Okay, just go here. Now bishop to e5, right? Or sorry, bishop to d5. His king is stalemated, so I have to be aware of that. But if he goes like rook to b7, I can take with the bishop. There's no stalemate. If he takes here, there's no stalemate. Rook to a5, I just push g7. Okay, bishop to d5 is winning. And I just have to, if he plays rook to b7, obviously I don't take with the rook, I take with the bishop. If I take with the rook, then it would be stalemate. But you just take with the bishop. Instead, alright, let me get the George W. Very good, very good. Oops. Was the knight move a brilliant? That might be the easiest brilliant of my life if it counts as one. 92% accuracy. I have a couple friend requests. Let me go and accept all these. Appreciate the follow, Flinted910. Appreciate the follow, Michael. Appreciate the follow, Cheap. Shout out. Favorite live stream. Thank you, user 25936. Just Paul dropping the shiny air balloon. Alright. 2493 chat. Moving up in the world, baby. We're moving up in the world. Appreciate the follow, Lancelot. Appreciate the follow, Troy. Appreciate the follow, Kevin Naba. Appreciate the follow, The Cure. Appreciate the follow, Tanner D. Appreciate the follow, Mar. We're also live on YouTube right now, chat, over at General Zod Chess, if you guys want to check out the stream with a wider viewing. We play a French defense. Very slow opening. I play my knight back to D2 because I don't want pieces to come off the board early in the game. Now it's just development, castling, making sure the king is safe. Once that idea is assured, I just lift my queen. The idea is you want to connect your rooks. Rooks are much stronger when they're connected. So I'm kind of just playing towards that. Diego25 Vargas dropping the paper crane. Appreciate the follow, Blue Box. Bishop to g5, knight to e4, and now I play bishop back to h5. He plays pawn to g5, which is the right move, but now he doesn't capture the bishop immediately. Pawn to g5 looks really weird because you're moving the pawns in front of your king, but in an open position, knights are generally weaker than bishops, so long term it makes sense for my opponent to trade a knight for a bishop. Here, I could have gone bishop to e5. I play it now. After he moves his queen off of e7, he goes bishop c7, and now instead of trading his knight for the bishop, he has to go bishop for bishop. And now white is just better because black pushed this pawn up for nothing. Bishop to f3, attacking the knight, queen to d2, going after this advanced pawn, pawn to h6, and then pawn to h4. Apparently I could have even sacrificed the exchange. And now my opponent plays knight to e4, I play queen to e3, and now after queen to f4, it looks like my opponent just got out a-okay, right? Because we're in the in-game, material is even, but as you can see from the evaluation bar, it gives white a huge advantage. After rook to e1, hitting the knight, you all of a sudden realize this knight has nowhere to go. 7 of the 8 squares it can land on right now, it can be captured on, right? The only square it can move to where it can't be captured is this square right here. You can go here and try and take a rook, but you just do simple math, right? A knight and a bishop are each worth 3 material points. A rook is worth 5. 3 plus 3 is 6. Obviously worth more than 5. Therefore, a knight and a bishop more valuable than a rook. So instead, he plays knight to d6, the only square the knight can land on where it can't be captured. But now I play knight takes e6, sacrificing a knight temporarily, but it opens up the file for me to attack his knight. So after he captures back, I just scoop his knight off the board. He trades bishop for knight, and now the endgame is just very, very easy. I'm up a bunch of pawns. It's very easy to convert my advantage. I just trade material off, start moseying my king along the board, taking away my opponent's pawns after he goes after mine, right? Not before. And now, like I said before, it's important in this in-game, objectively white is winning, right? But it's very, very, very easy to still go wrong. A lot of people here would be like, oh yeah, I'm winning this in-game completely, and then they would just, you know, they would mentally check out of the game and just play king takes f4. Why not? It's a free pawn. But then all of a sudden you realize it loses the game on the spot because knight to d5 is a check, and you cannot take the knight because it is pinned to the king by the bishop. So this would lose the game for white. That's why you have to be aware. After rook to c6. Also, there were a couple of people asking me why I didn't go for the fork. I feel like I should point this out. If bishop here, you take the bishop. Right. Yes, it does attack both the king and the rook, but white can, or black can just take away the attacker. He does not have to move the king. And so instead of capturing the pawn instantly here, I attack his knight. The only way he has of saving his knight is by checking me, but because I've now moved the rook and his rook is no longer pinning my bishop, not only can the knight not check there anymore, but the fork doesn't exist. And then the rest of the game is pretty easy. He has to give up the knight in order to not let me get a queen. I just capture this pawn, start pushing down the board, and the last trick of the game, right? Once again, you got to make sure if you have a minute 38 and you're about to get a queen, you know, you're a couple moves away from checkmate, it's important to not mentally check out because your opponents are still going to throw traps your way. If you take with the rook here, the game ends in a draw because black is stalemated with no legal move he can make. But his king isn't under attack by any piece. Since he can't make any legal move and there's no attack on his king, the game ends in a draw. So instead of capturing with the rook, I just capture with the bishop and the ops resign. Because now the king has this square and this square. We get the George W. All right, let's move on, chat. Appreciate the follow, Dougie Fresh. Appreciate the follow, Joshua Wayne White. Shout out. What's your best accuracy? I'm not completely sure. I've had a few games at 98%. It's probably that. Appreciate the follow, Jakob Bomberger. Appreciate the follow, Max. Appreciate the follow, Dalton Bristow. Let's go knight to c6. You're more of a TikTok person, says Ridwan on YouTube. What's up, Abdul on YouTube? Shout out. Let's go pawn to g6 here. Prepare to castle. Appreciate the follow, Kevin Kinway. Appreciate the follow, Halen Fries. Appreciate the follow, Aiden. I guess I'll just go d6, keep it standard. Bishop d7. Appreciate the follow, Madicky. Appreciate the follow, Nick. Appreciate the follow, Alexander. Shout out. Dude, you're so kind. What do I always say, chat? To end every stream. Alright, what do we always say? Appreciate the 45 roses, Zupa. Ops might be on tilt. He's playing very quickly and not well. Not a good combination. Unless you're playing bullet chess, in which case it's a pretty good combination. Appreciate the follow, T Clutch02. Appreciate the follow, Cookie. Appreciate the follow, Travis Constino. When the world is cruel, choose to be kind, baby. Alright? That's a fact, chat. Never forget it. The world is cruel, so choose to be kind. I'm just gonna drop my queen over here. Get while the getting's good. There is a third pawn I can capture. I'm a greedy man. I like to have my pawns and eat them too. Appreciate the follow, Quieter20. Appreciate the follow, Kevin. Appreciate the follow, Rogel07. Appreciate the follow, Trevor House. Appreciate the follow, Boger Doger 8. We take so many pawns, the ops reside, chat. The world is cruel, so choose to be kind, baby. Appreciate the follow, Christian Johnson. Appreciate the follow, Art WXYZ. Someone's like, what's the highest accuracy game you ever played, Todd? Maybe this one. Because it didn't go long enough for me to make any mistakes. No! I was 0.3% off. Well, technically 0.4% off for my most accurate chess game ever. 97.9%. Darn it! 800 people viewing. Shout out to all you tuning in on the Sunday afternoon. Alright. Appreciate you stopping by, watching some chess. We're still one rating point away from 25 hundo. After pawn to d5, I play a Benoni. Most people at my rating level decline it, which is very weird. What's the highest rating you've ever had, or most people? Appreciate the follow, Finesse11. Appreciate the follow, I Love God. Shout out. After knight to c6, queen to a4. It looks standard at first. This opening is like a little better for black just because white's position is a little clunky. Like, there's not really anywhere for white to create activity. Black doesn't have weaknesses, and I have this really powerful bishop at some point. It's not a big difference. I'm saying all this, but it just basically means black's position is a little easier to play, and he has a little more room to go wrong versus white has to play a little more accurately if he wants to stay in the game. Appreciate the Heart Me, Eco, MZX, and the Paper Crane, baby. Shout out. Appreciate the follow, Shawnee Smith. Appreciate the follow, Everett. I play queen to a5, just a natural move, and my opponent is playing quickly. I've played against this guy a lot. I think I have a really good record against him. Yeah, he's beaten me 4 times, but I've beaten him 13. And we've drawn once. So I think a lot of times when we've played, I've gotten into time trouble, and that's been his way of beating me. So I think in this one, maybe he was just... you know, kind of upset himself, but he also was just playing quickly, I think, to put me in time pressure. Blunders this pawn. You cannot capture my knight because it is pinned to the king. That would be an illegal move. Appreciate the follow, Master Pilot. 1988. So he just castles. I get 2 pawns for free. He has to move his rook out of the way. I defend my pawn. He plays rook to b3. I just drop my queen back. And after rook to e1, I'm like, you know, you're not threatening anything. My position is completely safe and solid. Generally, you don't want to like leave your queen on a lone adventure like this by herself, but because the bishop helps tether some of these squares, she's protected, and because so many pawns have been erased off the board, there's really no danger here of my queen being attacked or trapped, and the ops just resign because they're down 3 pawns at the start of the game. And we get the George W with 97% accuracy, so I'll take it. Appreciate the follow, Mike. Appreciate the follow, Cornell Taro. All right, 1 rating point away from 25 hundo, chat. Let's go again, baby. Appreciate the follow, Video Hub. Appreciate the follow, Cornell Taro. Appreciate the follow, Tony. Appreciate the follow, Lincoln. Shout out. I just started playing chess. I'm not terrible, but not good either. Everyone starts somewhere, you know? It's like riding a bike. Some people are going to get it faster than others, but just because someone rides a bike faster than you or learned how to ride faster than you, maybe they can go longer, should not stop you from enjoying riding your bike. That has always been my thoughts on something, you know? Never let someone tell you you're too old to enjoy something or you're not good enough to enjoy something. That to me is crazy. Appreciate the follow, SM. You're not good enough to enjoy this thing. Wait, did I play against this guy? Is this the... No. I have played... No. Okay. There was someone... Oh, he aborted. There was someone kind of close to that username who, I've played against him like 3 times, and I'm just convinced that person is a computer. Like, I am convinced. His account hasn't been banned yet, to my knowledge. Not this guy. But... MuckPay with the auto-renewal subscription. Oh, wait, no. MuckPay received a subscription from Just Paul. Just Paul dropping a gifted sub in the chat to MuckPay, baby. The hair is herring, is it? I actually have not looked at my hair at all today. Yes, sir. I gotta figure out something to do with it. Low-key, I want my purple braids back, but unfortunately, that costs money. And I feel like that would just not be a good usage of money. At least not right now. You should do the echo dreads. What are the echo dreads? You look so perfect in cornrows. I had cornrows earlier, or last year. They were alright. I didn't mind them. I thought I looked really cool. But only from like certain angles. Like I couldn't always see the whole hairstyle, so I was like, I know it's there, but I have to like take a picture like that to see it. Didn't stop me, but wanted to play bishop to h6 so bad. So bad. What is queen to a5 anyway? What are you doing over there? Maneuvering his queen over to f5 like a5 like a creep show. I don't get it. I'm just gonna play f4. Knight takes e2, queen takes e2, bishop takes c3, and queen takes c3? There... Did he think I had to take with the knight? Ain't no way taking on c3 with the bishop is a good move. Ain't no way. I mean, I hope he does it. Maybe it is. Dun, 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 dun. Zod, look up Echo in League of Legends. Echo League of Legends. This is who I'm supposed to look like? Or this is the hairstyle I should get? I don't know about that, chat. I don't know about that one. Okay, I didn't think he was gonna go. Even Bishop to D4. I think he wanted that tactic, and now he thought twice about it. But now... Alright, the ops are kind of wildin'. F5 looks really strong. Could also be E5. It's gotta be F5, right? It's gotta be. This does not look good. Baby Yoda's chilling. Baby Yoda's always chilling, alright? General's right hand man, baby. We're also live on YouTube right now, chat, over at General's Chess if you guys want to check out the stream with a wider viewing platform. I'm streaming earlier today because I have a hockey game in about 2.5 hours. So I won't be able to go live for the normal streaming time. That's why we're trying to get the grind on early. I think it's Queen F2. General Zod, how you doing? I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking. Appreciate the follow, James from the Apple. Are you sitting on a stool? You guys want to see the chair? Someone else was asking for a chair reveal earlier. I think this chair is like 90 years old. Not a modern day gaming chair, chat. But I'm also just playing chess. Like, you know? I don't need to be sitting on a throne. Actually, maybe I do. Maybe I should get a throne someday. That could be pretty cool. Show us your abs, Zod? I am not going to show you my abs. That is a wild request. Get some help. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't checked to see if I have abs in like forever. Get a sleeve tattoo? Maybe. If I was ever gonna get tattoos, they would probably be communist tats. I always thought those looked pretty sick. F6. think I'll start it with this. If he goes knight e5, I think I go h3. If he takes the pawn on b2, I'm pretty sure I don't react to that. Either I take on c5 myself, maybe bishop to h6, but I don't. Definitely don't just move my rook over. Well, maybe. I said communist tats. You, oh my gosh, communist tats? From Gurren Lagann. I guess it makes sense that my, Alright, what? Why? Your live is not eligible for... Why do I keep getting slapped with this? TikTok, what are you doing? I just submitted 3 appeals for it. It was the oh no! I can't say. Oh my gosh! I really have to watch myself some days, huh? Ay ay ay. Subtle plan. I'm just gonna rook f3, rook h3. But subtlety is overrated sometimes. So. Can he get back in time though? Queen d8. I guess I go queen h4 though. Goes for this. That's actually an annoying move. If I go here, and then rook f3, maybe? Appreciate the Dolphin Eco MZX shout out. TikTok, what is wrong with you? I wonder if I should, wonder if I should stop the stream or keep it going until the appeal gets, like, reviewed. Appreciate the follow, Blast. Appreciate the follow, Scoopid Ito Skin. Shout out. This guy. Go rook f3, rook h3. He's gonna play h6. Alright, let's try and bring the knight in, maybe? Also, maybe h4 is coming. But I want to keep his queen out first. If I go h4 here, he wants to double the rooks up. Bishop e4. You should follow Isaiah Canto. Shout out. I can go bishop g or e4 here. I can't see much reason not to. Because if you take, it's just main one. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you, Isaiah. When did you start playing chess? I started playing when I was 3. My parents got me into the game when I was like super young. Takes. Reviewed your appeal and adjusted your revocation duration. Your access to live studio has been restored. Does that mean people can join the live stream again? Should I trade queens? Wait. We gotta be careful. If I trade the queens, can I trap his knight? Now I go a4. Trap might be a bit intense. I can heavily slow down the movement of his knight. Force him to open up some files. There we go. Because otherwise c3 and the knight falls. Doesn't work here though. Here I have to take. Takes with the rook, I expect that. I can go c4 here, but I think b3 is fine. How do I do this? Oh, should not have let his knight out. It's a whoopsie daisy. It's not like a huge blunder, but let's go here. You take the pawn, I fork. Stay Nessie locked in, monster. Let's go here. Kick the rook back. Go here, target the pawn, and once again, if you capture this pawn, we have the fork. Appreciate follow Klingbo. Appreciate follow Andrew. Shout out. The knight was trapped, but if I had played pawn to b3, the knight would have gotten out. I can just take this. You take. I only have a minute. think I just go back. Doesn't matter if he gets the rook. Can't stop me from queening. And we get the George W. Alright. Push up back to 25 hundo chat. That's what we like to see. Michaelis and Gambit dropping the galaxy. We hit 25 hundo. Alright. Not even the stream restrictions can stop us. Eco dropping the 7 W's. Back up to 25 hundo chat. I feel like the rapid field has been getting stronger though. Because I hit 2500 like I think for the first time 2 months ago. And let me see. If I go to stats here and I go to my ratings, I was like top 250, 300 in the world. Appreciate the follow Cam, appreciate the follow Anti-Panafry Con, appreciate the follow Edwin. You remember when you ripped your shirt? That was at like midnight, but had to pop off to hit 2500. It was also a crazy win. Appreciate the follow Ty, shout out. Let's see, rapid. Global 273, yeah. Before it was like 200, 250. So at least there's some higher rated players still playing. That's always good to see. And people were asking me for that game why I didn't trap the knight. I'll show you guys why. There were a couple reasons I couldn't trap it. Oops. Top 300 is wild. It's a little misleading. Because there's 1,800 Grandmasters in the world, right? So what it really means is that Grandmasters and a lot of really strong title players don't play Rapid online that much. They don't really like grind or try to get good. But I mean, there's nothing I could do about that, right? I can only play who's there, so. I felt I was a lot better here with maybe potential like mating threats. Oh, rook to e1 was a much better move to protect the bishop. Yeah, this was his big mistake, was the knight looks really dangerous here, and he thought, well, my bishop isn't doing anything. And he's right, but after we trade, it opens up this really nice square for the bishop, where it's not only hitting the rook, but also helping to pressure the h7 pawn. How do you become a grandmaster? You have to achieve an over-the-board rating of 2,500, along with perform well in select tournaments that are held overseas around the world, but it's only about your over-the-board rating. So here, if I tried to trap the knight, he goes knight to b3, and then if I try and chase it down, knight to a5. So that's why I didn't do that. And it looks like I trapped the knight right here after rook to a3, pawn to b5. It looks like, okay, well now I cover the square and the knight has nowhere to go. The problem is he can just go pawn to b4 here, attacking my rook. So if I take the knight, obviously he takes my rook, -2 trade. And no matter where I move my rook, whether it's here or here, the knight once again has this square, but now it's even worse because my rook has to retreat. You takes. So that's why the knight wasn't trapped. But we were still much better because I'm up the exchange here, and it wasn't very difficult in game. I just had to shift my king over, set everything up. It's important to be patient. Like, you don't have to, force the win. If you have a big decisive advantage in the in-game. Some in-games that are neck and neck, it's all about pushing P, figuring out who can get a queen fastest. And I play to that here. I check him. He brings my king closer, or his king closer to my rook, attacking it, saying, aha, you can't advance your pawn because now your rook's under attack. But I advance my pawn anyway. Now, if you take the rook, I just make a queen, and you can't stop it. None of the knight squares get close. You can bring your king over. But obviously, because you haven't captured the rook, I just promote anyway, and it's protected by the rook. So we get the GG. All right, the ops were also out of time at that point, so I'm not sure it completely mattered. Hit 25 hundo again, though, so that's good. I have time for maybe one or two more before I have to get ready for hockey, or start getting ready. Do you think you will be a Grandmaster one day, Zod? Stick around and find out, baby. Appreciate the follow in Filipov. Shout out. Oh no, Grandmaster is very, very difficult for sure. What's your username? It is General Zod right there. Appreciate the follow, Liam Dunn. Play Blitz, you will lose it. I mean, one of the most important parts of improving in chess is you can't be afraid of, like, it's important to take pride in achieving like a new rating, a new peak for yourself, but you also have to be very, very careful that you don't become so hung up on achieving that new rating that you start playing like, oh, I don't want to lose my rating points. Oh, I don't want to go on tilt. Maybe I'll just play safe, you know, playing not to lose, right? Dodging higher rated opponents, whatever it might be, but just that mentality is very, very, very dangerous. And that's how you can stagnate very quickly, because all of a sudden, instead of looking for new ways of winning, new ideas of playing on, instead you're just playing to not lose. You're like, okay, I don't want to lose this rating I got pushed up to. There's nothing wrong with taking pride in your accomplishments, right? You just have to make sure you don't let them be the end all be all. What do I usually play here? Is it bishop to d2? It's been a minute, I forgot. I think it's bishop to d2. It definitely is, right? Is it? Okay. That doesn't look right. Take with the knight. He takes with the pawn. I take with the bishop. This doesn't look right. Maybe it's fine, though. Let's take. He has like knight to c6 at the end. I could sacrifice a pawn to play either like queen to g4, which looks kind of dumb, or just knight to f3, which looks less dumb. Here, knight c6, bishop a3, takes on c2. Just gonna go knight f3. Appreciate the follow, UDO145. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to play passively or you know, play super safe just because I hit 2500. I'm gonna sacrifice a pawn because I judge it to be the right move to make. You go queen d3 or queen d2? I guess I'll go d2 because dark squares and all that. Bishop a3. Castle. Looks like the ops are going to try and castle manually. Let's go here. Take. Were your parents good chess players since they got you into chess? My dad like knows how to play the game. But I've been able to beat him since I was like 6. And then Mama Zod never really got into the game. She always said she'd be really good at it, but I think we go here. I think b6 is a big blunder, just loosens up his position too much. Too many weak points in his position. Just target c7. And I'm getting my pawn back at least here. How are you not a grandmaster? To be a grandmaster, you have to achieve a certain rating over the board. I haven't played over the board chess since I was younger, and it also takes an extreme amount of talent, time, years and years of training, perseverance, right? It's never a straight pathway upward. So, along with the fact that I haven't been, playing over the board chess in a minute, still takes a tremendous amount of talent. So does FIDE Master, like my opponent, which is a title you acquire before you hit GM. What's up, Jenny? How we living, baby? This queen needs to defend the knight. The only move I see right now that I don't think loses instantly for black is knight to e7, but I could be wrong. Maybe knight to e7 is also bad, or maybe... Okay, it's the same thing almost, but not quite. Rook takes c6 here. And he sacrifices the rook! He sacrifices the rook! Because if you capture... It's just GG on the spot, baby. It's just GG on the spot. Oh, baby. One blunder. This opening was definitely not legitimate, alright? Not even close. This game lasted all of like 28 moves, or not 28, it lasted all of like 12 moves. We play a French defense, and for whatever reason, I get my theory mixed up. I always go knight to f3 here, and over the game, I don't know if it's because my opponents haven't been playing the French lately, or what it is, but I just like have a mind... break, right? And I just go bishop to d2, and now this isn't it, because now the game is just even, and I like, you know what, let's get sharp, let's sacrifice a pawn and try and play for an attack. So he's like, alright, sweet, the more pawns the merrier. I play queen to d2, turning down a second pawn. The computer's like, what are you doing? And now I just castle my king out of safety. He plays pawn to f6, trying to castle kingside, but it gives me time to play rook over to c2, king to f7, trying to manually castle, because this bishop, that was the whole idea of me sacrificing the pawn. I wanted to keep my bishop on this diagonal. And after pawn to b6, this basically puts the position back in my favor. I find queen to f4, hitting the weakest point in his position, and now it's not easy to defend. In the game, my opponent went rook to e7, thinking, well, after queen takes e7, I have knight to e7 and everything is defended, right? And it looks like everything holds. The problem is we have to take a look at what my opponent just did. He played the move pawn to b6, weakening the protection of the knight on c6. After I play queen to f4, not only am I targeting the c7 pawn, but I also now on the same file as the king, meaning there could be a potential pin on that file, giving me ideas like knight to e5. It does nothing right now, but all of a sudden after the move rook takes c6, alright, sacrificing the rook, on the spot, the ops just resign because he's now down a piece, and if you capture the rook, all of a sudden this pin comes into play. You cannot legally take this because of the pin, and the knight forks the queen and the king. Alright, Johnny on the spot, we get the George W. Appreciate the follow, Little Mania. Shout out. Ooh. The accuracy for this game was not good, though. Appreciate the follow Extra Carl, appreciate the follow AJ Clay03, appreciate the follow Kiko, appreciate the follow AG3 Lock, appreciate the follow Melonmon, shout out. I think the accuracy for that game was 75% for me, and then 56% accuracy from the ops. Appreciate the follow Carlo Rogers, appreciate the follow Karuba, appreciate the follow Aaron. Cody's in the chat, shout out Cody Stevens with the 8 GGs. Appreciate the follow HT. We have our moments, we have our moments. That was Sigzod. I did feel pretty cool with the eventual tactic. The opening, well, I'm not like super thrilled about it, was the opening was just, my mind went blank for a second what I was supposed to do with that French defense. I mean, it worked out because it threw my opponent off, and it got us in a position where we were both unfamiliar. And once that happens, I'm like, oh baby, let me complicate this game real quick. Zod, do you think 1500 is good for a 14-year-old? I always say, comparison is the thief of joy, right? If you worked hard to achieve something, you should always take pride in it. But you shouldn't, like, chess is the same thing as riding a bike. There's always going to be people that learn how to ride faster than other people, right? It's no difference. It doesn't mean you're like less smart or anything than someone else. It could just mean you get a game better than others. Maybe you have better coaches around you, maybe you have good competition around you, maybe you have a good trainer, whatever it is, there's always going to be different circumstances. But if you just use like, like saying, hey, I'm X rating after only playing for X amount of time, then there's always going to be someone who has accomplished more in less of a time. And so it'll, what do you call it, just weigh you down, because you're going to be looking at them and be like, oh, I thought I was good, but now I see that person, they're like a 2000, they're only 3 years old, you know. But that's why I always say comparison's the thief of joy. It's important to take pride in any accomplishments you achieve, right? If you put in the work to achieve it, you should be proud of it, Are you self-taught, Zod? I am indeed. Appreciate the follow, Toby. I'm looking for game chat. Not a whole lot of ops online. Appreciate the follow, Fox Geek. Shout out. 3 years old, 2000 ELO. I mean, I don't think anyone was ever that. I was just using it as an example. Appreciate the follow, Davey Static. Appreciate the follow, LB. Zod, you should do lessons at some point. I might at some point. I don't have any plans for it like in the near future, but I might eventually. We're also live on YouTube right now, chat, over at General Zod Chess. If you guys want to check out the stream with the wider viewing platform, please follow Dave. Same op. Let's play the Benoni. Zod, I've been meaning to ask you, why does my rating fluctuate so much? I got from 1650 all the way up to 2000. I mean, if you're going up, that's improvement, right? But if you're saying you were like 1650 and then you got all the way up to 2000 and then maybe you like went back down, rating fluctuations do happen. Like, it's not unnormal to go up or down even like a couple hundred rating points if you're playing consistently, A lot of people were like asking me like, or wondering if I had been getting worse or not paying attention or not, trying to improve in the last like week, because my rapid rating was at like 2530 3 weeks ago. And then like 2 weeks ago, it went all the way down to, I think it was at 2397 at one point. He goes there. I can go knight to a6. He still has a king in the center of the board. How do I strike against that, or do my best to? Maybe queen to b6. I think I go f5. Definitely didn't want to take the pawn because he could take with the queen, checking my king and my knight. He goes there, and if I go c4, discover check. Okay. If I go knight e4, it also doesn't seem to have any merit, so I think I'll just develop. And either go knight b4 or knight c7 next move. Not sure which yet. Let's see. c7. How do you defend that? You go rook to d1. Knight to c7, knight to h5. is a move. I'm not sure if it's a good one. My instincts say knight c7, so I'm just going to trust them. Now if I go queen to b7, he can protect the pawn with queen to c4. Could hit him with the discovered check. I don't think I want to do that, though. I gotta go. I'm burning too much clock. It's not like... Let's just bring another rook onto the open file. Why not? F4 knight? I can't move a knight to F4. That would be this square. Well, I can't legally. Thanks. Let's see. If I go c4, how does he respond? If he goes bishop to e3, I can take on b2. He takes on c4, though. Could play h6. Gotta go. Feels like c4 could be a really good move here. I think I'm gonna do this. Still no refund from the cheater. That's true. I still haven't gotten those like 20-some rating points back. It could be a minute before he's banned. Appreciate the heart puff, Anna. Shout out. Appreciate the follow, APXNENAR. I think that's Russian. I could be wrong, though. Down a severe amount of time. We're also live on YouTube right now, chat, over at General Zod Chess, if you guys want to check out the stream with a wider viewing platform. Good evening, what's up, Erno? Oh, you should probably turn the pre-move off so it's less confusing to people. Going into the in-game down a pawn. Typically, you don't want to go into the in-game where you're down on material, but I don't know. I feel pretty good about this one because white has a lot of issues, and I'm not sure they're easily solvable. Like, if you move the bishop anywhere, I can capture your pawn. You move the pawn up onto b3, I can still take it. I really have to go to the bathroom, like, really bad. How do you pre-move? You have to enable it in settings. Appreciate the follow, Brett. I'll be right back. A4. He went A4 and he offered me a draw. I don't think a4 was a good move. I think I can go here and get the pawn back, because if you go b3, I can take because of this scope. And once again, I'm not the type to play a chess game just to make a draw. Alright. Maybe it is a draw. But, eh. Because if you go b3 here, then I can capture this pawn. Because the scope opens up to the rook. So if you capture my knight, I just take your rook. So there's no way for him to defend this pawn, at least not effectively. I'm not quite sure what the knight's doing over here, to be honest. I think that was one of the moves that went in the wrong direction for him. What is FM? FM stands for FIDE Master. It's a title awarded to you when you reach 2300 rating in over-the-board chess. Not online chess. What's up, Dom? How we living, baby? Someone said rook b4 was perfect. I probably should have gone rook b4 instead, huh? You have a good move in chess, look for an even better one. If I go here, he goes rook to a3, I go knight to c3. Where does he go? I think I'll just take. Is he going to sack the exchange? No shot, right? Rook to a3 is the only way of keeping the rook, or for not losing the exchange for white. And what's my best follow-up? Probably bishop to d4 to centralize the bishop. What? Oh, I see. Rook to c3, knight to c3, and then he wants to go bishop to d2. Takes the rook. Do either of those options look good for me? Okay, so if I go here, bishop to d2, can't go there immediately. Knight's hanging, don't want to forget that. Wait, bishop to d4? Here. Let's check. He blundered. He had to go king to h2. Or maybe king f1, I don't know. But that was a blunder. Very natural, but I take now. And you have to give up the exchange, yep. Drop the rook back. Drop the bishop back. Prepare to get the rooks on these, trained on these two pawns. Swing a rook over. Knight c2, I think. But then he's very passive. This doesn't work. Knight takes e7. I just go king over 1. Your rook's under attack. We're threatening rook to d1. All I have to do is go king to f8. And we get the George W, chat. We get the George W. Appreciate the follow, Aiden. Appreciate the follow, Kamkazi626. Shout out. The Beno Gambit against the 2400 rated FIDE Master. All right, this is a treat, baby. The Beno Gambit coming in clutch. We played that game at a 2650 rating level. All right. The Beno Gambit is when you open with the Benoni, challenging the white center pawn with a flank pawn. He declines it and tries to protect the pawn. So now I push, offer up a pawn, offer up a second one, and now I've sacrificed a pawn, but I have my bishop already out trained in the position. It's not comfortable for white to develop here, so I just go on about my business like normal. And the idea of this gambit is that you get enough pressure on the A and B files to make up for losing the pawn. After we castle, he plays queen to e2. I move my queen out to b6. Pawn to e6. I have to be careful because if I take, he can take with the queen and hit both my king and my knight. But after pawn to f5, we're just chilling. This pawn structure looks kind of threatening, but because he can't actually do anything, it just looks scary. I have pawn to c4 as a check, but it doesn't actually accomplish anything. So after king to g1, I move my knight back to c7, rook to b8. And now after knight to b5, it looks weird because I'm offering to go into an in-game while I'm down a pawn. Typically, you want to go into in-games when you're up on material. But I recognize that even though I'm down a pawn in this position, because of the pressure I have on all of this right here, my bishop with this long-range scope, his knight being completely useless, if anyone is better here, black should be much better. I realized this during the game, and you can see the computer agrees with my evaluation, saying that black is negative 1.8 better. I play rook over to a5, and now, after b3, I just hit him with knight takes d5. If you were to capture my knight for nothing, then I can just play bishop takes on a1. And now after rook to b1, I play bishop to d4. Not the best move in the position, but it kept my opponent honest. Here he got lazy and played a very natural looking move, king to h1. The reason why this is a blunder that threw the game on the spot is because now I go for this fork, and this is why he thought he had something the first time, because now no matter which rook I capture, you can capture here. But because he put the king on h1 and not h2 in this variation, now I can play knight to f2 check, and it's defended by the bishop. So you can't capture, you move your king to either square, it doesn't matter. I wouldn't go here because of discovered check, but so you go here and you just take, and now black is up a piece. My opponent missed this and didn't consider when he decided to go king to h1, all right? So after knight to c3, if his king had gone to h2, for example, then, after king to h2, then knight c3 with the fork, bishop to d2, knight takes, and then bishop takes. And I can take your bishop, but then you just take my knight, right? And it's just even material. But because his king was on h1, you see how that just one difference played the entire, that one square differential played the entire factor of who was going to win the game. King to h1, we get the fork, and now if he were to capture my rook, I would have knight to f2 check, defended by the bishop. It wouldn't be a check otherwise, therefore you wouldn't have to react to it. So instead of being down a clean piece, the ops decide to sacrifice the exchange, but this endgame is very, very easy to play. I just play c4, and now after c3, he can't stop me from taking this pawn. I take it. If you take back, I just snap up your rook. It's a rook for rook trade. So he does his best trying to complicate the position. I just bring my rook over to the open file, and because of the power of the passed pawn, I allow this fork. All right, it's rare that you allow a fork into the position, but it's just completely winning for black here. And although I don't have to react to it, I can play rook to b7 to stop it. It's just a lot better to play pawn to c2, win the game, right? He forks me, but I just go king to f8, and the ops resign. If you take this rook, I just promote, take with a queen. If you play rook to c1, then I don't even bother with the knight. I just play rook to d1, check, and if you take, I promote to a queen. All right, very little the ops could do here. If you capture this rook, by the way, I can just do the same thing, take. All right, very, very clean game. Appreciate the follow, Anders Love. Appreciate the follow, number one. Appreciate the follow, date, shout out. What does FM mean? FM stands for FIDE Master. So is being a GM more about having money? I mean, it's not just about having money. Like, you still need an insane amount of talent to even like attempt to, you know, go on the pathway to go for a Grandmaster title. When I mention all that stuff, it's more just so people realize it's not just about like talent. It's talent, and then there's a combination of extreme hard work, extreme dedication to the craft for years and years and years. A lot of people, I think, assume when you get to around Grandmaster strength, you kind of just know everything and you stay there. But the ideas that get used in chess games, whether they're opening ideas, in-game ideas, things like that, they change all the time. Because people will use engines and they'll play a game and someone will pull out some surprise move that no one has ever seen before, and then that gets added to the study books. And if you aren't keeping up with all those things, the quality and level of your play can drop very, very quickly. So you have to be willing to commit a lot of time, money, and effort in order to go on the path to become a Grandmaster. And even then, it isn't guaranteed, right? There are more billionaires alive in the world today than there are Grandmasters. There are 2,800 billionaires alive in the world. And there's about 2,000 Grandmasters, closer to like, I think 1900 Grandmasters, but still. What's the difference between FM and GM? I mean, a FIDE Master is someone who has an over-the-board rating of at least 2,300, and a Grandmaster is someone who has an over-the-board rating of at least 2,500. So, I mean, the biggest thing is just like FIDE Master isn't as skilled as a Grandmaster. Is chess getting more and more complicated? Yes and no. It's getting more complicated because we have the technology necessary to allow it to get more complicated and explain to us why these complexities are good. Back in the old days, in like the 1930s, 1940s, 1950s, we didn't have computers that were as strong as humans to figure out the position for us. So we had to like use our own abilities, discernment, thinking skills, and all things like that. So while the positions might have been less complex, because we didn't have anyone to guide us and say for an absolute fact or with absolute certainty like computers can, when we're reviewing games, like, you know how a computer will say with absolute certainty, this was a bad move. And no one's like, well, I thought it was a good move because of X, Y, and Z. It's just like, nope, the computer said it's a bad move. It's a bad move, you know. But it's just like chess is like a sport, you know. Sports evolve as technology gets better, as players adapt to the sport better, and some of the needs or difficulties of the sport, right? I think I'll just go here. I feel like he wants like 93 maybe? There you go, knight to e5. I'm just gonna take. No idea if it's any good, but I'm gonna do it. Which chess app or website are you playing on? Right now I'm playing on chess.com. You can download it for free on the Google Store, Apple Play Store, and play on your phone, or you can play for free in the browser on your computer like I'm doing right now. Let's go. I like pawn to d5 here, trying to clamp down some of black's development, take away some of his squares maybe. The ops opt to develop the knight. You could develop the queen. And like maybe bishop here or some. Oh, he really wants to defend this extra pawn. Interesting. My first question is, can I just sack the knight? Takes. Takes. My gut says yes. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. Why not? Sacrifice the knight. I'm not sure about my follow-up yet, to be honest. But it feels like takes with the rook is probably best. Maybe takes with the bishop was stronger. Forgot after queen g7 he has like knight to g6. I'm a lot less fond of this sack now that I've gone for it. His knights are going to be some pretty stout defensive shields. Maybe it was fine if I captured with the bishop, though. Appreciate the follow, Vary Game. Appreciate the follow, A. Justin. Shout out. Appreciate the 2 W's Berserk. Appreciate the 2 W's Michaelis and Gambit. Appreciate the GEG, 2 GG's, actually 3 GG's, the Rose and the Ice Cream Cone from MXHQRZ. Appreciate the Had Mustachio. Cody Steven, shout out. We're also live on YouTube right now, chat, over at General's Odd Chess. If you guys want to check out the stream with a wider viewing platform, appreciate the follow, Z Ball. Appreciate the follow, Willie PP, shout out. If he goes queen g7, couldn't you pin the queen to the king? I could, but then he has knight to g6 blocking the pin. And that is the move I missed. Appreciate the follow, Firkin S. Appreciate the follow, Bo2. Shout out. Appreciate the follow, Chase Gorard. Only 2 moves, save the ops queen. Yeah, unfortunately that's 2 moves too many. At least he's in the think tank, though, so that's not all bad. No, if he goes queen to g7, right, and I go like rook to g5, pinning the queen to the king, then he goes knight to g6, and my rook no longer attacks the queen. Because his knight's blocking it. If I take the queen, he just takes back with his king, because it's undefended. At that point. We should follow AWTS. He resigns? This is the closest I'll probably ever come to the Magnus effect, alright? Just because I'm 2,500, alright? If my opponent was up against an 1,800, a 2,100, probably even another 2,300, he would have kept playing on. You can see from the evaluation bar, Black is winning this position. The ops just gave up because they thought I was like a genius, all-seeing genius who sees everything. Oh my gosh, man, look at this. He played at 97.4% accuracy. And he took the L. That is crazy. Wait a minute. He played at 94%. Oh, he got banned. Mid-game? 97% accuracy, that'll do it. Oh my gosh. Another one? Oh, I'm too nice. I expect too much of people. I wasn't thinking about that at all. Oh my gosh. Alright, I was just a person playing a game. Another one bites the dust. Ay, ay, ay. Whatever. If they're a cheater, I'm gonna start dancing on their grave. Good riddance. One bites the dust. Don't. Another one bites the dust. It's not terrible for me, apparently. It's not winning by any stretch, though. Should have played bishop takes f4. I thought that was a weird point for him to resign. Unreal. Alright. Chat, 25-18? Alright, that's looking pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. What are we... Where does that put us in the world? Bullet 2700 also looking pretty nice. I gotta start grinding Blitz soon. Because the only rated Blitz I play right now is Untitled Tuesday, which is not good for the rating. It's fun content, and it's competitive, and it's good to help you improve. Because you're putting yourself in high pressure situations. Diamonds are made under pressure. But it's not good for the rating points, alright? But we push up 25-18 on the day, ending it with a game against the cheater, alright? His account gets closed due to fair play. He had to resign mid-game. That's pretty funny. I have to cut the stream a little short today, chat, because I got to go ahead and get ready for a hockey game. I'll try and be back for a late stream tonight, alright? I'm going to be hanging out with the boys at the bar. Watching a hockey game, so might be back a little later in the night, but I'm gonna do my best for a late night stream. But thank you guys so much for stopping by this one, chat. All right, appreciate all the support. Pushed up to 228th in the world. Pretty solid day. Getting like 28-30 rating points. What was the record for this stream? I haven't been paying any attention. I wasn't undefeated, was I? No. We started playing... This was the first game of the stream. Start off with a draw. 1 draw, 2 wins, 1 loss. 3 wins, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I had 8 wins, 1 loss, and a draw. Wow. Killed it today, baby. Killed it, alright? Thank you guys again for all the support, chat. We've had a few hiccups with this stream because of all the restrictions and stuff, alright? But I appreciate the never-ending support. Appreciate the follow, Stephen Lee. I'll do my best to be back on for a late night stream, chat. Alright, be on lookout for that. If I'm not on for a late stream, I'm going to do an early one Monday. And then we're going to do Guess the ELO probably Monday night. So be on lookout for that, alright? But thank you guys so much for stopping by the stream. I appreciate all the support, chat. Make sure to go follow the YouTube channel. I've been live streaming from there at the same time as well, alright, with a wider view over at General Zod Chess. Thank you again for all the support, chat. Very, very good day, alright? Very good day of chess here. Alright, got a hockey game to go play in. But remember, chat, to end the stream, as always, alright, when the world is cruel, choose to be kind, baby. Alright, I will catch you all in the next one. Have a good one, chat.